Revenue deduction. Workers threaten to shut Nigerian ports if Tinubu fails to reverse policy. Oh boy. What Tinubu's policy has always been deduction, revenue generation through taxes, through tax and revenue collection. That is just his own. Whether the establishment or the parastatals or the businesses generating the tax and revenues are surviving or not, it's not his agenda, it's not his interest, which is very bad. Businesses are dying, people are shutting down. You don't care. You are just the ones that are surviving. You are double and triple taxing them, collecting revenue left, right, and center. Even have gone into private people's account to tax all forms of transactions. What a country! Is that how to survive? I want to be a president. Workers have threatened to shut down Nigerian ports sector if President Tinubu fails to reverse the 50% automatic deduction from revenue accrued to the Nigerian Ports Authority (NPA). The Senior Staff Association of Statutory Corporation and Government-Owned Companies (SASCGOC), Maritime Workers Union of Nigeria, made the threat in a statement on Monday. Leaders of the two unions, Akeola Bodunde of SSC and Adewale Adeyanju of Maritime Workers Union of Nigeria, noted that they have written a letter to the president regarding the development. So the unions warned that failure to rescind the decision, would lead to workers' withdrawal and total shutdown of ports nationwide. So the workers insisted on a 30% deduction from NPA's revenue instead of 50%. Automatic deduction of 50% of its internally generated revenue shall leave the authority financially incapacitated to discharge their responsibilities to the host communities, which may lead them to resort to unhealthy activities. We recommend that 30% of the revenue internally generated by the authority could be automatically deducted, while 70% is left for the authority to accomplish its overhead cost and statutory responsibilities, failure of which the union would have no other option than to withdraw the services of its members from all ports formations nationwide. Daily Post records that in January this year, the Nigerian government ordered funded federal government agencies, parastatals, and enterprises to immediately remit 50% of their gross earnings, gross internally generated revenue (IGR) to the federal government. Okay, so with what these guys are saying, it's going to be a very terrible situation if they take 50%. That's like I was saying. Tinubu's government is not looking at how businesses survive. They're only looking at what to collect. And whether the government parastatals survive or not, it's not their business. I just don't understand. Why must everything be strike before government will do the needful? It's a very bad situation, I tell you the truth. This is very bad. Now, the Maritime Workers Union of Nigeria and the Senior Staff Association of the Maritime Workers as well, I have decided that if Tinubu does not reverse that policy, they're going to shut down the ports all across the country. That is a decision they have made already, so I don't know what Tinubu do. He has only one option, which is reversing it. I tell you the truth. Okay, so people are reacting to this position of the port workers, port authority workers. Some say an obnoxious levies and taxes. That's what he did in Lagos, and he is boasting that he will increase the revenue of Lagos. Satanic taxes. 90% of Lagosians have no savings. Widows selling sachet water are taxed. That's bad. Gradually, corruption is going down. How is it going down? Okay, how is it going down? This must be sarcastic. Why are they threatening a shutdown if they are not part and beneficiaries of the revenue leakage, which government is trying to avoid? Who says labor is not part of the corruption in the public service. Okay, well, that is your own. APC is good in destruction. That is what we know. City boy, please allow Nigerians to breathe. That is it. That is to Tinubu. Baba go still come give motivational words to fellow Nigerians. Very good in that. Chai. Tapiti Nigerians. I think there is gross mismanagement in the ministry that was why federal government merged it to bring down embezzlement. Is the government itself free from embezzlement? That is what question you should ask. Yes, there's embezzlement in all the parastatals and agencies. The government itself, is it free from embezzlement? Look at what is happening in the Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs. Look at how people are fingering the chief of staff to Tinubu. Okay, so look at all the ministers, the governors, all of them are all cheating. So even what the ministries and parastatals are going to remit back to government coffers will still be shared by the governors and these ministers, and they will still loot it. So everywhere is leaking. The parastatals are leaking, the businesses are leaking, government agencies are leaking, the government accounts in CBN that are leaking. Okay, and who is creating the leakage? The politicians. And someone say evil everywhere. Sometimes I just wonder who would have caused us these pains. Shut down the port and expect the president to pay you guys with my salary. Nonsense people, can you imagine? So why are you people are insulting the people? So I don't know. All of them are culprits in this corruption in Nigeria. Nigerian Port Authority have their own. Maritime Authority also have their own. We understand how looting has been going on in the Maritime Authority. So nowhere is safe in Nigeria. Someone say, how on earth can you use 70% on overhead costs? Okay, you have no right to threaten federal government. The worst you will pull out and others will take over. That is where you make mistake. Tinubu boasted that let the nurses go, let the doctors and health workers travel abroad. They will replace them. Have they been able to replace them? No. Rather than creating policies to stop them from traveling out of the country. The same way this one is saying, do you think it is easy to replace a competent hand when you lose it? No, it is not easy. So find a common ground. This man is a criminal, should watch how he's treating people. Okay? Someone say, I know that so many companies, factories, and even some government agencies have ganged up against Tinubu to plug Nigeria into the current mess. Okay, plunge Nigeria into the current mess. Okay, so that people will see Tinubu as a bad person. Now, before reducing the revenue, a class investigation must take place to consider any implication that can affect the NPA. So many of you guys in that NPA, are enriching yourselves at the expense of the country, Nigeria. The president is trying to deal with corruption, but stupid and selfish Nigerians are planning to go against the president's decisions to deal with corruption. The truth of the matter is that with the way Amana Tinubu got into power, no matter his intentions, no matter how good his intentions are, nobody will see him doing any good. That is the truth. He came in through corrupt means. And so there's nothing he will do that will not have selfish interest at the back end of it. So he can never be trusted, irrespective of how his intentions are, irrespective of how genuine his intentions may be. Nobody will ever trust him. That is what I know. That is what I know. Nobody will ever trust Tinubu. So thank you for listening. Let's have your comment in this planned shutdown of the NPA.